Hello and welcome everyone. Myself Mijanur Rahaman, and today my topic of discussion is transport of carbon dioxide. In the previous video we have already discussed about the transport of oxygen. Now in this video I will try to discuss about the transport of carbon dioxide. Now carbon dioxide is transported by the blood from cells to the alveoli, okay? And carbon dioxide is transported in the blood in four ways. One is as dissolved form, that is 7%, as carbonic acid in negligible quantity, as bicarbonate 63%, and as carbamino compounds, that is 30%. Now first, as dissolved form, carbon dioxide diffuses into the blood and dissolves in the fluid of plasma, forming a simple solution. Only about 3 ml per 100 ml of plasma of carbon dioxide is transported as dissolved state, and it is about 7% of total carbon dioxide in the blood. So what is in dissolved form? Carbon dioxide, it diffuses into the blood and dissolves in the fluid of the plasma to form a simple solution, only about 3 ml per 100 ml of plasma. And carbon dioxide is transported as dissolved state, and it is about 7% of the total carbon dioxide in the blood. Now as carbonic acid, part of the dissolved carbon dioxide in the plasma combines with water to form carbonic acid. Transport of carbon dioxide in this form is negligible, as carbonic acid is not stable form. Now as bicarbonate, about 63% about 63% of carbon dioxide is transported as bicarbonate. From plasma, the carbon dioxide enters the RBC, and in the RBC, the carbon dioxide combines with the water to form carbonic acid. And the reaction inside the RBC is very rapid because of the presence of carbonic anhydrase. And this enzyme accelerates the reaction. Now, the carbonic anhydrase is present only inside the RBCs and not in plasma. That's why the carbonic acid formation is at least 200 to 300 times more in the RBC than in the plasma. Now carbonic acid is very unstable. Almost all carbonic acid, 99.9% formed in the red blood corpuscles, dissociate into bicarbonate and hydrogen ions. And concentration of bicarbonate ions in the cell increases more and more. And due to high concentration, the bicarbonate ions diffuse through the cell membrane into plasma. Now, chloride shift or Hamburger phenomenon. What is chloride shift or Hamburger phenomenon? That is, the chloride shift or Hamburger phenomenon is the exchange of chloride ion for a bicarbonate ion across the RBC membrane, and it was discovered by Hertog Jacob Hamburger in 1892. And the chloride shift occurs when carbon dioxide enters the blood from the tissues, and in plasma plenty of sodium chloride is present, and it dissociates into the sodium and chloride ions. And when the negatively charged bicarbonate ions move out of the RBC into the plasma, the negatively charged chloride ion move into the RBC in order to maintain the electrolyte equilibrium or ionic balance. Now anion exchanger 1 band 3 protein, that which acts like antiport pump in RBC membrane and is responsible for the exchange of bicarbonate ions and chloride ions. And bicarbonate ions combine with the sodium ions in the plasma and form the sodium bicarbonate. And in this form it is transported in the blood. Now hydrogen ions dissociated from the carbonic acid are buffered by hemoglobin inside the cell. So here hemoglobin acts as a buffer. Now reverse chloride shift. Reverse chloride shift is the process by which chloride ions are moved back into the plasma from RBC shift, and it occurs in lungs. It helps in the elimination of carbon dioxide from the blood, and bicarbonate is converted back into carbon dioxide, which has to be expelled out, and it takes place by following mechanism. This is the mechanism we will discuss. And when the blood reaches the alveoli, the sodium bicarbonate in the plasma dissociate into sodium and bicarbonate ion, and the bicarbonate ion moves into the RBC, and it makes the chloride ion to move out of the RBC into the plasma, and where it combines with the sodium and form the sodium chloride. And bicarbonate ion inside the RBC combines with the hydrogen ion and forms carbonic acid, and which dissociate into water and carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is then expelled out. Now what is the mechanism? First of all, you can see the RBC, then plasma and interstitial fluid. So first, their RBC is present and cell is present. Cell is expelled out the carbon dioxide from the as a excrete out or excreted product. Then carbon dioxide comes from interstitial fluid to plasma. Then from plasma it is going to the RBC, and with the help of water, these forms H2CO3 or carbonic acid with the help of carbonic anhydrase. Then it dissociates into hydrogen ion and bicarbonate ion, and hemoglobin acts on the H plus ion and act as a vapor and neutralize that part, and the HCO3 minus or bicarbonate ion is coming out of the cell and from the sodium bicarbonate ion, and here the chloride shift occurs, and the Na plus is act with the sodium bicarbonate ion and forms the sodium bicarbonate, and chloride ion enters into the here and forms the Hamburger effect. So this is the transport of carbon dioxide in the blood in the form of bicarbonate and the chloride shift mechanism. Now, as carbamino compounds, about 30% of the carbon dioxide is transported as carbamino compounds, and carbon dioxide is transported in the blood in combination with hemoglobin and plasma proteins. Now, carbon dioxide combines with the hemoglobin to form the carbamino hemoglobin or carb hemoglobin, and it combines with plasma proteins to form carbamino proteins. And the carbamino hemoglobin and carbamino proteins are together called carbamino compounds. And carbon dioxide combines with the proteins or hemoglobin with a loose bond so that carbon dioxide is easily released into the alveoli, where the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is low. Thus, the combination of carbon dioxide with protein and hemoglobin is a reversible one. And amount of carbon dioxide transported in combination with the plasma proteins is very less compared to amount of transported in combination with hemoglobin. It is because the quantity of proteins in plasma is only half of the quantity of hemoglobin. Okay. Now, carbon dioxide dissociation curve, that is, carbon dioxide is transported into the blood as physical solution and in combination with water, plasma proteins and hemoglobin. The amount of carbon dioxide combining with the blood depends upon the partial pressure of carbon dioxide. Now, carbon dioxide dissociation curve is the curve that demonstrates the relationship between the partial pressure of carbon dioxide and the quantity of carbon dioxide that combines with the blood. So, what is the relation? Carbon dioxide dissociation curve is the curve that demonstrates the relationship between the partial pressure of carbon dioxide and the quantity of carbon dioxide that combines with the blood. Now, normal carbon dioxide dissociation curve. Normal carbon dioxide dissociation curve shows that the carbon dioxide content in the blood is 48 ml percentage, and when the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is 40 mmHg, and it is 52 ml percent when the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is 48 mmHg. Now, carbon dioxide content becomes 70 ml percent when the partial pressure is about 100 mmHg. You can see the diagram that in the graph, the plotted graph is in deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood, and carbon dioxide concentration in the blood in ml percentage and partial pressure of carbon dioxide in mmHg. It is the plotted curve. Now, the Haldane effect. Haldane effect is the effect by which the combination of oxygen with hemoglobin displaces the carbon dioxide from hemoglobin, and it was first described by John Scott Haldane in 1860. Excess of the oxygen content in the blood causes shift of the carbon dioxide dissociation curve to right. Now, causes for Haldane effect. Due to combination with oxygen, the hemoglobin becomes strongly acidic, and it causes displacement of the carbon dioxide from hemoglobin in two ways. One is highly acidic hemoglobin has low tendency to combine with the carbon dioxide. So, carbon dioxide is displaced from the blood. So, what is the first reason? That is a highly acidic hemoglobin, which has low tendency to combine with the carbon dioxide, and so carbon dioxide is displaced from the blood. Number two, that is because of the acidity, hydrogen ions are released in excess, and hydrogen ion bind with the bicarbonate ion to form the carbonic acid, and carbonic acid in turn dissociated into water and carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is released from the blood into the alveoli. So what happens? One is highly acidic hemoglobin, and one is because of acidity. So because of acidity, hydrogen ions are released in excess, and hydrogen ion bind with the bicarbonate ion to form carbonic acid, and carbonic acid in turn dissociate into water and the carbon dioxide is released from the blood into the alveoli. So what is the significance of Haldane effect? Haldane effect is essential for release of carbon dioxide from blood into the alveoli of lungs, and number two, that is uptake of oxygen by the blood. So this is the significance of Haldane effect. So today you have completed the carbon dioxide transportation, and now summarize first. So what is the transport of carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is transported by the blood from the cells to alveoli, and it is transported by four ways. One is as in dissolved from. One is as dissolved from 7%. Number two, as carbonic acid negligible. Number three, that is by as bicarbonate 63%, and number four, as carbamino compounds, that is 30%. First, as dissolved from, the carbon dioxide diffuses into the blood and dissolves in the fluid of plasma, forming a simple solution. Only about 3 ml per 100 ml of plasma of carbon dioxide is transported as dissolved state, and it is about the 7% of total carbon dioxide in the blood. Now, as carbonic acid, the part of the dissolved carbon dioxide in the plasma combines with the water to form carbonic acid, and transport of carbonic dioxide in this form is negligible. Now, as bicarbonate, that is 63% of the carbon dioxide is transported as this mechanism. Now, we will discuss the mechanism, that is the cell excrete out the carbon dioxide which comes to the plasma, and then it is going to the RBC. With the help of water, it forms the H2CO3 or carbonic acid with the help of carbonic anhydrase, and it dissociates into H plus and bicarbonate ion. Then hemoglobin comes and buffer the H plus ion, and from HHB, and the bicarbonate ion come out of the RBC and acts with the Na plus and form sodium bicarbonate, and the Cl minus acts into the RBC, enters into the RBC and form the chloride shift. So this is the mechanism. Now in the fourth point, that is as carbamino compound, that nearly about 30% of the carbon dioxide is transported as carbamino compound. Carbon dioxide is transported in the blood with combination of hemoglobin and plasma protein, and carbon dioxide combines with the hemoglobin to form carbamino hemoglobin or carb hemoglobin, and it combines with the plasma proteins to form carbamino proteins, and carbamino hemoglobin and carbamino proteins togetherly called carbamino compounds. Now, carbon dioxide dissociation curve. Carbon dioxide dissociation curve is the curve that demonstrates the relationship between the partial pressure of carbon dioxide and the quantity of carbon dioxide that combines with the blood. Now, normal carbon dioxide dissociation curve. That normal carbon dioxide dissociation curve shows that the carbon dioxide content in the blood is 48 ml%, and when the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is 40 mmHg and it is 52 ml%, when the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is 48 mmHg, and carbon dioxide content becomes 70 ml% when the partial pressure is about 100 mmHg. Now, Haldane effect. Haldane effect was first described by John Scott Haldane, and Haldane effect is the effect by which the combination of the oxygen with the hemoglobin displaces the carbon dioxide from hemoglobin. And what is the cause? There are two causes. Only one is highly acidic hemoglobin, that is has low tendency to combine with the carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is displaced from the blood, and because of acidity, the hydrogen ions are released in excess, and hydrogen ions bind with the bicarbonate ion to form carbonic acid, and carbonic acid in turn dissociate into water and carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is released from the blood into alveoli. Now, significance, Haldane effect is essential for release of carbon dioxide from blood into the alveoli of lungs, and number two, that is uptake of oxygen by the blood. So this is our today's topic. If you have any query or any doubt, you can comment down in the comment section, and you are free to ask any question. And then if you have any doubt, you can ask here also. And thank you so much for watching the entire video. Do like, share and subscribe to my channel for supporting me and my channel, and thank you so much.